In a small, quiet village, there lived a kind carpenter named Geppetto. He lived alone and made toys for children. One day, Geppetto decided to make a wooden puppet that resembled two young men. He said, "I'm going to name you Pinocchio, and I wish you were a real boy." In the middle of the night, a magical blue fairy appeared in his workshop, touched the puppet with her hand, and said, "Pinocchio, I've cleaned up your life. If you're kind, brave, and honest, you'll become a real boy." Geppetto succeeded, and there he was. Damn it, and he spoke. "Papa Geppetto. I'm alive." Geppetto was overjoyed and said, "We're sending you to school." There was a circus, and he wanted to go see it. He forgot to write out the full telephone agreement with the school so he could enter the show. Then the blue fairy came and asked, "Did you go to school?" Pinocchio lied and said, "Yes." Geppetto gave Pinocchio some money to buy school books. But on the way, Pinocchio heard music and laughter. He was generous, but the circus owner locked him up to exploit him. They said, "Why don't you plant your money in Wonderland? A tree full of gold will grow." Pinocchio believed them and went with them, but they tricked him and stole his money. Inside, people loved him. The more you lie, the longer your nose will get. Pinocchio promised to be honest, and she showed him the right path. Pinocchio cried and said, "I want to go back to my father." But his nose started to get longer. "Ah, why is my nose bigger?" "Because you lied," said the fairy. On his way home, Pinocchio met a cat and a squirrel. He lit a small fire, the fish sneezed, and he hurled it ashore. She left him alone in the forest one day, and when he cried, she became the other blue fairy. She said to him, "Pinocchio, everyone who chooses the path of laziness falls into trouble." Pinocchio understood the lesson and said, "I'll be better, I promise." Pinocchio went to the village, but he couldn't find Geppetto. He learned that his father had gone looking for him and boarded a boat at sea. Pinocchio dared to save him and jumped into the sea, even though he couldn't swim. At one point, a giant fish swallowed him. And he found Geppetto in its belly. "Dad. Pinocchio. You're alive." Pinocchio thought of an explanation. Pinocchio and Geppetto returned home, tired but happy. That night, they finally returned to the blue fairy. She said to him, "Pinocchio, you've been brave, kind, and honest. Now it's time for you to be rewarded." And with a magic touch, Pinocchio became a real boy. In the morning, he looked at himself and said, "Oh my God. I'm a real boy." Geppetto hugged him and said, "I'm against you, my boy." From that day on, Pinocchio and Geppetto lived happily, and Pinocchio learned that honesty and courage are the right path. The end.